Hey guys, this is Esther. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to part 2 of making an altered junk journal from start to finish. So last time we were together, we worked on prepping our book, like prepping our pages. So as you can see, everything is prepped and ready to go. So now what we're going to do is we are going to work on the pages that are going to go on top of these pages. So you're going to be working with a decorative paper. If you don't want to do decorative and you just want to do solid color paper, that's fine as well. It's your junk journal and you get to do whatever you want. What I love about these junk journals is that because they're altered, you have the base already and it's easier to work that way. Another thing that I love is if you are a hoarder of paper pads, this is a magnificent project to work with, to use up to a whole paper pad. Yes, you heard that right. I use a whole entire paper pad to make these junk journals, and any scraps or anything that I have left over, I will send to the person who purchases the journals. So I keep nothing and I use a whole paper pad, which gives me room to buy more paper because we all need it, right? Anyways, let me show you what the next step will be. I like to Mod Podge every single pocket, and in this book I believe I have 4 pockets. I go ahead and Mod Podge the pockets, and while this is drying, while my Mod Podge page is drying, is when I will continue to cut the rest of my pages. Now, I'm not going to show you, and I'm not going to Mod Podge the napkin onto this because I'm pretty sure everybody knows how to do it. So like I said, in my case, I love to Mod Podge the pages that have pockets. I only Mod Podge the front and then I add paper to the back just to give it a little more stability. That's totally up to you. So now let's get to cutting the pages that are going to go on top of your pages. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to measure how big you want your pages. Here is a tip, a recommendation that I wish I had known before because it would have saved me a lot of trouble. When you're measuring your pages, you're going to want to make sure this is a 12 by 12. You're going to want to make sure that you don't go all the way in like that. The reason for that is that after you put in about 40 or 50 pages, how many pages of these you have left, it's going to get so thick here in the middle that it's not going to close or open properly. Plus, it'll start getting harder and harder to glue your pages down and they'll start lifting. So what I like to do is I like to leave a little space, about that much. Let me see if I can bring you in closer. Like that. You see how there's that little gap right here? Like that much. And then I like to leave a little space right here. The reason for that is because I like to come in with my distress tool and distress the pages. It just gives it a little extra character. But if you don't want to distress it, you don't have to. So what you're going to do is you're going to measure this one, this particular book. The measurements are, for me, if you have this book, I like to go 8 inches up because it's a little more than 8 inches. You see how it's a little more than 8 inches? But like I say, I like that white space all around. So I cut 8 inches. You see where my ruler doesn't go anymore? Right here. A little bit more than 4.5 right here. And then once you have the measure, that's what I did for this one. But remember, if you have a different book, your measurements are going to be totally different. You're going to take your paper and you're going to start measuring and cutting until you have all your pages measured and cut. So let me go ahead and bring one that I've already done so you can see. So here are my pages all cut up. Now I know that I wanted to use this butterfly theme and I found this paper pad at Michael's and I thought, oh my gosh, it's perfect. And then I mixed it in with one of or two of Lace Boutique One's digital paper and oh my gosh, it's perfect. I'll show you the Lace Boutique paper. How pretty is that paper? Oh my gosh, it's like perfect. And then I printed some out on cardstock, printed some out in vellum. Oh my gosh, it is so pretty, you guys. Like, I can't even handle how pretty this journal is gonna look. You're gonna cut it to the size that you want, and let me show you what one of my pages will look like. You see how I leave a lot of room? And the reason that I leave a lot of room here is because I come in with washi tape as a decorative piece, and also to kind of reinforce a little this right here, this fold, and to kind of keep my paper down, but like I said, mostly for decorative purposes. So once you have all your paper cut, the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to want to cut everything that you're going to use. Cut everything that you can. That way it'll make preparing the pages even easier. I have all this from friend mail that I've received. I got this from Tina Muhammad. I just love it, and the colors are perfect. So I got all these from Tina. Right here, this set I got from Monet Bird's Boss, so thank you so much. And then these big ones I love because these are the ones that I use in the pockets. There's 4 pockets, and there's like 4 or 5 of these really big ones, and that works perfect. Another thing that I save and use are the leftovers from the 12 by 12 paper pads. These are the leftover pieces, and I use these to do belly bands, to do pockets, to do just anything. And anything that's left over from these, I will include to the person who purchases the journal. And then the last thing that I fussy cut out are flowers, and because like I said, I knew this was going to be butterfly themed, I fussy cut a whole bunch of butterflies that I'm still, you can see here, I'm still fussy cutting out. I have some flowers that I can use as a whole, or I can cut individual and use them for decor or tuck spots or anything like that. This is from We Are Memory Keepers, and this is the page where I'm cutting the butterflies from. Once you have all your paper cut, and once you have all your extras and your little decor pieces and everything cut out, this is what I like to do. These papers are already in the order that I'm going to put them in the book. That way I don't have to worry about trying to sort them as I'm putting them in. Another thing that I like to do is I know that this page is perfect. Like, I don't think I want to do anything except maybe make this into a tuck spot. So maybe I'll come in here with a blade and cut it and make that little rose into a tuck spot. But other than that, I think I want to leave it like that. Maybe add some picture corners if they want to put a picture on here or something like that. I'm not sure, but this is what I do. I take little page flags and I write on here what it is I want to do to that page. Then all I do is I take it out and I put it on here, and then I flip it over. Then I come to this one and I say, what do I want to do to this page? I figure out, I think for this one I might do like a tiny little corner tuck spot here. These are flowers I had used before. They kind of match with these flowers. So what I'll do is I'll probably take one of these flowers out, like fussy cut it out, and leave that as a tuck spot. So then what I do is I will take it off, I will put it on here along with this, and I will paper clip this together and move on to the next. And I will continue to write down on sticky notes. That's why I go through these little sticky notes so much. And once I have gone through every single page writing down what it is I want to do, then I'm ready to start assembling my pages. If you're going to add a pocket, I recommend that you don't add it until it's inside your book, unless you're going to sew it in. If you're going to sew into your journal, this is how you're going to sew. You're going to sew this page. Whatever you want to do, you're going to sew onto these pages, because once these pages are done and once you're done sewing, that's when you're going to come in here and you're going to glue it on to your book. So it's going to look like you sewed it onto the book, but you didn't. You just sewed this paper. Because trust me, my very first time, I didn't know that you were supposed to sew this paper and not the book. And I actually sewed the papers onto the book, and it was the hardest thing because it was so hard to get the book through the sewing machine, you guys. I must have broken like 5 needles in that one journal. So I learned my lesson. You do not sew the book. You sew your paper, and then you glue on your paper once it's complete. But if you're not going to sew any pockets, or you're not going to sew around, or you're not going to sew any or lace or trim or anything to it, I would recommend that you wait and put the pockets once your page is in, because here's the reason why. Because there's these lumps you know, of natural because it starts getting chunky. Sometimes if you glue the pages before, then when you glue it down, it's like all warped. So I always recommend, if you're not sewing something on, glue it once it's inside. So guys, that's it for video number 2 and preparing the pages that are going to go inside. Then I'll be back with video number 3 showing you guys how I've done my pages and glued them on. And then we're going to work on the next step. So I will see you in the next video. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and I hope that you guys like this video. And if you haven't yet, subscribe and join our tiny family. Hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any videos. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!